Okay, and hello again. And today we're going to continue on the book of Proverbs, reading again from the Good News Bible. The last time we finished at the end of chapter 21, so I'm going to start on chapter 22 of Proverbs. It goes as far as chapter 31. So in this 40 minutes, we'll see if we can get to the end of Proverbs. I really enjoy reading this. Even though it's an ancient text, there's a lot of wisdom here from that is perfectly applicable to the 21st century. So I enjoy it, and I hope you will too. So here we go. Book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and following. If you have to choose between a good reputation and a great wealth, choose a good reputation. The rich and the poor have this in common: the Lord made them both. Sensible people will see trouble coming and avoid it, but an unthinking person will walk right into it and regret it later. Obey the Lord, be humble, and you will get riches, honor, and a long life. If you love your life, stay away from the traps that catch the wicked along the way. Teach children how they should live, and they will remember it all their lives. Poor people are slaves of the rich. Borrow money, and you are the lender's slave. If you sow the seeds of injustice, disaster will spring up, and your oppression of others will end. Be generous, and share your food with the poor. You will be blessed for it. Get rid of a conceited person, and then there will be no arguments, quarreling, or calling of names. If you love purity of heart and graciousness of speech, the king will be your friend. The Lord sees to it that truth is kept safe by disapproving the words of liars. Lazy people stay at home. They say a lion might get them if they go outside. Adultery is a trap. It catches those with whom the Lord is angry. Children just naturally do silly, careless things, but a good spanking will teach them how to behave. If you make gifts of rich people to rich people or oppress the poor to get rich, you will become poor yourself. Listen, and I will teach you what the wise have said. Study their teachings, and you will be glad if you remember them and can quote them. I want you to put your trust in the Lord. That is why I am going to tell them to you now. I have written down 30 sayings for you. They contain knowledge and good advice, and will teach you what the truth really is. And then when you are sent to find it out, you will bring back the right answer. The first saying: don't take advantage of the poor just because you can. Don't take advantage of those who stand helpless in court. The Lord will argue their case for them and threaten the life of anyone who threatens theirs. The second saying: don't make friends with people who have hot, violent tempers. You might learn their habits and not be able to change. The third saying: don't promise to be responsible for someone else's debts. If you should be unable to pay, they will take away even your bed. The fourth saying: never move an old boundary mark that your ancestors established. The fifth saying: show me someone who does a good job, and I will show you someone who is better than most and worthy of the company of kings. The sixth saying: when you sit down to eat with someone important, keep in mind who he is. If you have a big appetite, restrain yourself. Don't be greedy for the fine food he serves. He may be trying to trick you. The seventh saying: be wise enough not to wear yourself out trying to get rich. Your money can be gone in a flash, as if it had grown wings and flown away like an eagle. The eighth saying: don't eat at the table of a stingy person, or be greedy for the fine food he serves. Come on and have some more, he says, but he doesn't mean it. What he thinks is what he really is. You will vomit up what you have eaten, and all your flattery will be wasted. The ninth saying: don't try to talk sense to a fool. He can't appreciate it. The 10th saying: never move an old boundary mark or take over land owned by orphans. The Lord is their powerful defender, and he will argue their case against you. The 11th saying, pay attention to your teacher and learn all you can. The 12th saying, don't hesitate to discipline children. A good spanking won't kill them. As a matter of fact, it may save their lives. The 13th saying, son, if you become wise, I will be very happy. I will be proud when I hear you speaking words of wisdom. The 14th saying, don't be envious of sinful people. Let reverence for the Lord be the concern of your life. If it is, you have a bright future. The 15th saying, listen, my son, be wise and give serious thought to the way you live. Don't associate with people who drink too much wine or stuff themselves with food. Drunkards and gluttons will be reduced to poverty. If all you do is eat and sleep, you will soon be wearing rags. The 16th saying, listen to your father. Without him you would not exist. When your mother is old, show her your appreciation. Truth, wisdom, learning, and a good sense, these are worth paying for, but too valuable for you to sell. A righteous man's father has good reason to be happy. You can take pride in a wise son. Make your father and mother proud of you. Give your mother that happiness. The 17th saying, pay close attention, son, and let my life be your example. Prostitutes and immoral women are a deadly trap. They wait for you like robbers and cause many men to be unfaithful. The 18th saying, show me someone who drinks too much, who has to try out some new drink, and I will show you someone miserable and sorry for himself, always causing trouble and always complaining. His eyes are bloodshot and he has bruises that could have been avoided. Don't let wine tempt you, even though it is rich red, though it sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. The next morning you will feel as if you had been bitten by a poisonous snake. Weird sights will appear before your eyes and you will not be able to think or speak clearly. You will feel sick as if you were out on the ocean, seasick, swinging high up in the rigging of a tossing ship. I must have been hit, you will say. I must have been beaten up, but I don't remember it. Why can't I wake up? I need another drink. The 19th saying, don't be envious of evil people and don't try to make friends with them. Causing trouble is all they ever think about, and every time they open their mouths, someone is going to be hurt. The 20th saying, homes are built on the foundation of wisdom and understanding. Where there is knowledge, the rooms are furnished with valuable, beautiful things. The 21st saying, being wise is better than being strong. Yes, knowledge is more important than strength. After all, you must make careful plans before you fight a battle, and the more good advice you get, the more likely you are to win. The 22nd saying, wise sayings are too deep for stupid people to understand. They have nothing to say when important matters are being discussed. The 23rd saying, if you are always planning evil, you will earn a reputation as a troublemaker. Any scheme a fool thinks up is sinful. People hate a person who has nothing but scorn for others. The 24th saying, if you are weak in a crisis, you are weak indeed. The 25th saying, don't hesitate to rescue someone who is about to be executed unjustly. You may say that it is none of your business, but God knows and judges your motives. He keeps watch on you, he knows, and he will reward you according to what you do. The 26th saying, son, eat honey, it is good. And just as honey from the comb is sweet on your tongue, you may be sure that wisdom is good for the soul. Get wisdom, and you have a bright future. The 27th saying, don't be like the wicked who scheme to rob honest people or take away their homes. No matter how often honest people fall, they always get up again, but disaster destroys the wicked. The 28th saying, don't be glad when your enemies meet disaster, and don't rejoice when they stumble. The Lord will know if you are gloating, and he will not like it, and then he might not punish them. The 29th saying, don't let evil people worry you. Don't be envious of them. A wicked person has no future, nothing to look forward to. The 30th saying, have reverence for the Lord, my son, and honor the king. have nothing to do with people who rebel against them. Such people could be ruined in a moment. Do you realize the disaster that God or the king can cause? More wise sayings. The wise have also said these things. It is wrong for judges to be prejudiced. If they pronounce a guilty person innocent, they will be cursed and hated by everyone. Judges who punish the guilty, however, will be prosperous and enjoy a good reputation. An honest answer is a sign of true friendship. Don't build your house and establish a home until your fields are ready and you are assured that you can earn a living. Don't give evidence against someone else without good reason or say misleading things about them. Don't say, I'll do to him just what he did to me. I'll get even with him. I walked through the fields of vineyards of a lazy, stupid person. They were full of thorn bushes and overgrown with weeds. The stone wall round them had fallen down. I looked at this and thought about it and learned a lesson from it. Have a nap and sleep if you want to. Fold your hands and rest a while. But while you are asleep, poverty will attack you like an armed robber. Here are more of Solomon's Proverbs, copied by men at the court of Hezekiah of Judah. We honor God for what he conceals. We honor kings for what they explain. You never know what a king is thinking. His thoughts are beyond us, like the heights of the sky or the depths of the ocean. Take the impurities out of silver, and the artist can produce a thing of beauty. Keep evil advisers away from the king, and his government will be known for its justice. When you stand before the king, don't try to impress him and pretend to be important. It is better to be asked to take a higher position than to be told to give your place to someone more important. Don't be too quick to go to court about something you have seen. If another witness later proves you wrong, what will you do then? If you and your neighbor have a difference of opinion, settle it between yourselves and do not reveal any secrets. Otherwise, everyone will learn that you can't keep a secret and you will never live down the shame. And an idea well expressed is like a design of gold set in silver. A warning given by an experienced person to someone willing to listen is more valuable than gold rings or jewelry made of the finest gold. A reliable messenger is refreshing to the one who sends him, like cold water in the heat of harvest time. People who promise things that they never give are like clouds and wind that bring no rain. Patient persuasion can break down the strongest resistance and can even convince rulers. Never eat more honey than you need. Too much may make you vomit. Don't visit your neighbors too often. They may get tired of you and come to hate you. A false accusation is as deadly as a sword, a club, or a sharp arrow. Depending on an unreliable person in a crisis is like trying to chew with a loose tooth or walk with a crippled foot. Singing to a person who is depressed is like taking off his clothes on a cold day or like rubbing salt in a wound. If your enemies are hungry, feed them. If they are thirsty, give them a drink. You will make them burn with shame, and the Lord will reward you. Gossip brings anger just as surely as a north wind brings rain. Better to live on the roof than share the house with a nagging wife. Finally, hearing good news from a distant land is like a drink of cold water when you are dry and thirsty. A good person who gives in to someone who is evil reminds you of a polluted spring or a poisoned well. Too much honey is bad for you, and so is trying to win too much praise. If you cannot control your anger, you are as helpless as a city without walls, open to attack. Praise for a fool is out of place, like snow in summer or rain at harvest time. Curses cannot hurt you unless you deserve them. They are like birds that fly by and never settle. You have to whip a horse, you have to bridle a donkey, and you have to beat a fool. If you answer a silly question, you are just as silly as the person who asked it. Give a silly answer to a silly question. The one who asked it will realize that he's not as clever as he thinks. If you let a fool deliver a message, you might as well cut off your own feet. You're asking for trouble. A fool can use a proverb about as well as crippled people can use their legs. Praising someone who is stupid makes as much sense as tying a stone in a sling. A fool quoting a wise saying reminds you of a drunk trying to pick a thorn out of his hand. An employer who hires any fool that comes along is only hurting everybody concerned. A fool doing some stupid thing a second time is like a dog going back to its vomit. The most stupid fool is better off than someone who thinks he is wise when he is not. Why don't lazy people ever get out of the house? What are they afraid of? Lions? Lazy people turn over in bed. They get no farther than a door swinging on its hinges. Some people are too lazy to put food in their own mouths. A lazy person will think he is more intelligent than 7 people who can give good reasons for their opinions. Getting involved in an argument that is none of your business is like going down the street and grabbing a dog by its ears. Someone who misleads someone else and then claims that he was only joking is like a mad person playing with a deadly weapon. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without gossip, quarreling stops. Charcoal keeps the embers glowing. Wood keeps the fire burning. And troublemakers keep arguments alive. Gossip is so tasty, how we love to swallow it. Insincere talk that hides what you are really thinking is like a fine glaze on a cheap clay pot. A hypocrite hides hatred behind flattering words. They may sound fine, but don't believe him because his heart is filled to the brim with hate. He may disguise his hatred, but everyone will see the evil thing he does. People who set traps for others get caught themselves. People who start landslides get crushed. You have to hate someone to want to hurt him with lies. Insincere talk brings nothing but ruin. Never boast about tomorrow. You don't know what will happen between now and then. Let other people praise you, even strangers. Never do it for yourself. The weight of stone and sand is nothing compared to the trouble that stupidity can cause. Anger is cruel and destructive, but it is nothing compared to jealousy. Better to correct someone openly than let him think you don't care for him at all. Friends mean well, even when they hurt you, but when an enemy puts an arm around your shoulder, watch out. When you are full, you will refuse honey, but when you are hungry, even bitter food tastes sweet. Anyone away from home is like a bird away from its nest. Perfume and fragrant oils make you feel happier, but trouble shatters your peace of mind. Do not forget your friends or your father's friends. If you are in trouble, don't ask a relative for help. A neighbor nearby can help you more than relatives who are far away. Be wise, my son, and I will be happy. I will have the answer for anyone who criticizes me. Sensible people will see trouble coming and avoid it, but an unthinking person will walk right into it and regret it later. Anyone stupid enough to promise to be responsible for a stranger's debts deserves to have his own property held to guarantee payment. You might as well curse your friends as wake them up early in the morning with a loud greeting. A nagging wife is like water going drip, drip, drip on a rainy day. How can you keep her quiet? Have you ever tried to stop the wind or ever tried to hold a handful of oil? People learn from one another, just as iron sharpens iron. Take care of a fig tree and you will have figs to eat. Servants who take care of their masters will be honored. It is your own face that you see reflected in the water, and it is your own self that you see in your heart. Human desires are like the world of the dead. There is always room for more. Fire tests gold and silver. A person's reputation can also be tested. Even if you beat fools until they're half dead, you still can't beat their foolishness out of them. Look after your sheep and cattle as carefully as you can, because wealth is not permanent. Not even nations last forever. You cut the hay and then cut the grass on the hillsides while the next crop of hay is growing. You can make clothes from the wool of your sheep and buy land with the money you get from selling some of your goats. The rest of the goats will provide milk for you and your family, and for your servant women as well. The wicked run when no one is chasing them, but an honest person is as brave as a lion. When a nation sins, it will have one ruler after another, but a nation will be strong and endure when it has intelligent, sensible leaders. Someone in authority who oppresses poor people is like a driving rain that destroys the crops. If you have no regard for the law, you are on the side of the wicked, but if you obey it, you are against them. Evil people do not know what justice is, but those who worship the Lord understand it well. Better to be poor and honest than rich and dishonest. A young man who obeys the law is intelligent. One who makes friends with good-for-nothings is a disgrace to his father. If you get rich by charging interest and taking advantage of people, your wealth will go to someone who is kind to the poor. If you do not obey the law, God will find your prayers too hateful to hear. If you trick an honest person into doing evil, you will fall into your own trap. The innocent will be well rewarded. Rich people always think they are wise, but a poor person who has insight into character knows better. When good people come to power, everyone celebrates, but when bad people rule, people stay in hiding. You will never succeed in life if you try to hide your sins. Confess them and give them up, then God will show mercy to you. Always obey the Lord and you will be happy. If you are stubborn, you will be ruined. Poor people are helpless against a wicked ruler. He is as dangerous as a growling lion or a prowling bear. A ruler without good sense will be a cruel tyrant. One who hates dishonesty will rule a long time. Someone guilty of murder is digging his own grave as fast as he can. Don't try to stop him. Be honest and you will be safe. If you are dishonest, you will suddenly fall. A hard-working farmer has plenty to eat. People who waste time will always be poor. Honest people will lead a full, happy life, but if you are in a hurry to get rich, you are going to be punished. Prejudice is wrong, but some judges will do wrong to get even the smallest bribe. Selfish people are in such a hurry to get rich that they do not know when poverty is about to strike. Correct someone, and afterwards he will appreciate it more than flattery. Anyone who thinks it isn't wrong to steal from his parents is no better than a common thief. Selfishness only causes trouble. You are much better off to trust the Lord. It is foolish to follow your own opinions. Be safe and follow the teachings of wiser people. Give to the poor and you will never be in need. If you close your eyes to the poor, many people will curse you. People stay in hiding when the wicked come to power, but when they fall from power, the righteous will rule again. If you get more stubborn every time you are corrected, one day you will be crushed and never recover. Show me a righteous ruler and I will show you a happy people. Show me a wicked ruler and I will show you a miserable people. If you appreciate wisdom, your Father will be proud of you. It is a foolish waste to spend money on prostitutes. When the king is concerned with justice, the nation will be strong, but when he is only concerned with money, he will ruin his country. If you flatter your friends, you will set a trap for yourself. Evil people are trapped in their own sins, while honest people are happy and free. A good person knows the rights of the poor, but wicked people cannot understand such things. People with no regard for others can throw whole cities into turmoil. Those who are wise keep things calm. When an intelligent person brings a lawsuit against a fool, the fool only laughs and becomes loud and abusive. Bloodthirsty people hate anyone who is honest, but righteous people will protect the life of such a person. Stupid people express their anger openly, but sensible people are patient and hold back. If a ruler pays attention to false information, all his officials will be liars. A poor person and his oppressor have this in common: the Lord gave eyes to both of them. If a king defends the rights of the poor, he will rule for a long time. Correction and discipline are good for children. If they have their own way, they will make their mothers ashamed of them. When evil people are in power, crime increases, but the righteous will live to see the downfall of such people. Discipline your children, and you can always be proud of them. They will never give you reason to be ashamed. A nation without God's guidance is a nation without order. Happy are those who keep God's law. You cannot correct servants just by talking to them. They may understand you, but they will pay no attention. There is more hope for a stupid fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. If you give your servants everything they want from childhood on, someday they will take over everything you own. People with quick tempers cause a lot of quarreling and trouble. Arrogance will bring your downfall, but if you are humble, you will be respected. A thief's partner is his own worst enemy. He will be punished if he tells the truth in court, and God will curse him if he doesn't. It is dangerous to be concerned with what others think of you, but if you trust the Lord, you are safe. Everybody wants the goodwill of the ruler, but only from the Lord can you get justice. The righteous hate the wicked, and the wicked hate the righteous. These are the solemn words of Agur, son of Jakeh. God is not with me, God is not with me, and I am helpless. I am more like an animal than a human being. I do not have the sense of a human being should have. I have never learned any wisdom, and I know nothing at all about God. Who has ever mastered heavenly knowledge? Who has ever caught the wind in his hand, or wrapped up water in a piece of cloth, or fixed the boundaries of the earth? Who is he, if you know? Who is his son? God keeps every promise he makes. He is like a shield for all who seek his protection. If you claim that he said something that he never said, he will reprimand you and show that you are a liar. I ask you, God, to let me have two things before I die. Keep me from lying, and let me be neither rich nor poor. So give me only as much food as I need. If I have more, I might say that I do not need you. But if I am poor, I might steal and bring disgrace on my God. Never criticize servants to their master. You will be cursed and suffer for it. There are people who curse their fathers and do not show appreciation for their mothers. There are people who think they are pure when they are as filthy as they can be. There are people who think they are so good. Oh, how good they think they are. There are people who take cruel advantage of the poor and needy. That is the way they make their living. A leech has 2 daughters, and both are named Give Me. There are 4 things that are never satisfied: the world of the dead, a woman without children, dry ground that needs rain, and a fire burning out of control. Those who make fun of their father or despise their mother in her old age ought to be eaten by vultures or have their eyes picked out by wild ravens. There are 4 things that are too mysterious for me to understand: an eagle flying in the sky, a snake moving on a rock, a ship finding its way over the sea, and a man and woman falling in love. This is how an unfaithful wife acts. She commits adultery, has a bath, and says, "But I haven't done anything wrong." There are 4 things that the earth itself cannot tolerate: a slave who becomes a king, a fool who has all he wants to eat, a hateful woman who gets married, and a servant woman who takes the place of her mistress. There are 4 animals in the world that are small but very, very clever. Ants, they are weak, but they store up their food in the summer. Rock badgers, they are not strong either, but they make their homes among the rocks. Locusts, they have no king, but they move in formation. Lizards, you can hold one in your hand, but you can find them in palaces. There are 4 things that are impressive to watch as they walk: lions, strongest of all animals and afraid of none; goats, strutting cocks, and kings in front of their people. If you have been foolish enough to be arrogant and plan evil, stop and think. If you churn milk, you get butter. If you hit someone's nose, it bleeds. If you stir up anger, you get into trouble. These are the solemn words which King Lemuel's mother said to him. "You are my own dear son, the answer to my prayers. What shall I tell you? Don't spend all your energy on sex and all your money on women. They have destroyed kings. Listen, Lemuel. Kings should not drink wine or have a craving for alcohol. When they drink, they forget the laws and ignore the rights of people in need. Alcohol is for people who are dying, for those who are in misery. Let them drink and forget their poverty and unhappiness. Speak up for people who cannot speak for themselves. Protect the rights of all who are helpless. Speak for them and be a righteous judge. Protect the rights of the poor and needy. How hard it is to find a capable wife. She is worth far more than jewels. Her husband puts his confidence in her, and he will never be poor. As long as she lives, she does him good and never harm. She keeps herself busy making wool and linen cloth. She brings home food from out-of-the-way places as merchant ships do. She gets up before daylight to prepare food for her family and to tell her servant women what to do. She looks at land and buys it, and with money she has earned, she plants a vineyard. She is a hard worker, strong and industrious. She knows the value of everything. She makes and works late into the night. She spins her own thread and weaves her own cloth. She is generous to the poor and needy. She doesn't worry when it snows because her family has warm clothing. She makes bedspreads and wears clothes of fine purple linen. Her husband is well known, one of the leading citizens. She makes clothes and belts and sells them to merchants. She is strong and respected and not afraid of the future. She speaks with a gentle wisdom. She is always busy and looks after her family's needs. Her children show her appreciation and her husband praises her. He says, "Many women are good wives, but you are the best of them all." Charm is deceptive and beauty disappears, but a woman who honors the Lord should be praised. Give her credit for all she does. She deserves the respect of everyone. And that's the end of the book of Proverbs. And we're a little short on time today, but that's enough for today. So I'm going to leave it there, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Okay? Best of luck, and as always, in this world of cruelty and selfishness and human misery, only kindness will save us. Bye-bye for now.